So I just want to show something real quick. It's my plan to further reinforce and support this roof system on this place. So as you can tell, the factory roof trusses or roof framing, whatever you want to call it, they're just constructed out of like 2x2 like squares, which is kind of small for a roof truss. Not really for a trailer, you know what I mean? It's strong enough. And to make up for that, they've distanced these actually quite close to one another. So when I was measuring, I mean, these things are pretty much like 14 inches spaced out from one another. That's actually really close. Usually with a different house or anything else, even newer, more modern trailers and mobile homes, I don't really think they're using these 2x2s a whole lot anymore. They're usually using like a 2x4 or like a 2x6 truss, so they're a lot bigger and bulkier, so they don't have to use as many. So usually they're only spaced like from here like to here, but to make up for the lack of bulkness, they've doubled these up and added them 14 inches from one another on every single one. So they've compensated for that, which makes it pretty much just as strong as those other ones because there's double the amount of trusses, which is definitely a good idea. And the thing that I was going to show, so my idea to further support and fix this truss system. So if you notice, I can actually come over and I can actually like come out and grab these trusses with my hand right here. And I can actually, hang on, I can actually move these things with my hand. Some of them are a lot looser than others, right? So I don't really like that, you know what I mean? Especially if we're going to be up on the roof doing different types of patch repairs and eventually total replacement and stuff like that. I don't really trust that a whole lot. So my plan is we're going to take more 2x2 material, right? And we're going to come in here, and I've made these blue squares. I've measured these out from the wall frame. This should be like exactly like 2 feet or something, or yeah, something like that. And I've done it on both sides. And measuring it out from that blue square to that blue square, this should be the dead center of the truss. So my plan, I'm going to just follow these little I don't know if that's 1 inch, it could be. But my plan is to follow parallel with these wood pieces that run long ways through the trusses, right? And we're going to go directly underneath of them with my 2x2. I'm going to put them like literally like bam, like right like that. And it's going to connect from this truss to this truss with like obviously I had to get more 2x2 to cut it to the exact length, but it's going to connect these trusses together to where they won't be able to sway. It'll support it, you know what I mean? But then I was thinking, if I put a truss here, right, and it goes all the way to here, and I'm going to put like a 3-inch construction screw through it to support it, right? I have to have access to this with my drill to be able to run a screw. And if I do that, then I can't put another one on the back side of it because it'll be blocked by this 2x2. So it's a bit of a problem. So I was thinking my plan to probably work around that is I'll run one like this, right, it'll get screwed in. Then I'll come over here and come slightly over. Screw that one in, and then come slightly over. So it'll be like a zig-zag type thing. And that way I'll be able to get to the back of every single piece to be able to run my screw into it. And it'll work exactly the same. It's not really going to be much different, you know what I mean? And we're going to run it on this side and that side, so left and right sides. And I also want to run a system straight down the middle as well. And that should be enough, you know what I mean, to prevent these from shaking left and right. It should really stabilize them quite a bit. Hopefully, I mean, at least that's what that is what the plan is. Also, since they will be parallel and perfectly flat and flush with the other 2x2s, you'll have more area to attach your drywall to and run your drywall screws into. Instead of just relying on the side-to-side trusses, you'll have long ways as well, more surface area to hang your drywall. So that'll also help us out when the time comes to start putting up ceiling insulation and putting up our drywall ceiling panels. So that's going to be pretty cool. It would have been nice to see the trusses made. I mean, I know the wall studs are only 2x3, and typically you'd be at a 2x4. But even upgrading these trusses from 2x2 to 2x3 would have been a huge upgrade. But it's not really a big deal because, like I said, they doubled them up in the long run, so it makes up for that. So not a huge deal. Plus this bar frame that we made to support this wall with the window, we made it out of 2x2. And it is very stable. Thing does not move at all, really. And then we're going to have either plywood on the front or drywall, and then same thing, it's going to have a top. So you'll be able to sit stuff there, you know what I mean? Like a little shelf or whatever. Window AC is going to be in the center window. So we're going to have to put wiring and put an outlet directly below this right here. Or on the top of it, it doesn't matter. But we have to have an outlet here somewhere, plug in for the AC to plug into, because there wasn't one there originally. So like I said, the sheet metal is in on the right side, pretty much completely done. Studs in, cross truss or cross furring strip is in. This stud is completely in now. Sheet metal is completely in, and I've tucked it on the inside. And I've ran my side-to-side strips as well. As you can tell, these are not parallel with each other like they are on this side, and that is because this is where it was supposed to sit. But if you come in here and look, there's a hole cut out where the metal thing where they were running the electrical wire through, so I obviously can't put a screw through that, so I had to raise it up slightly higher above all that. And it works exactly the same. This isn't really a strength thing, it's just to secure this sheet metal to the wall on all four sides. So it does its job, obviously, so not a big deal. So the next project, when this guy shows up Friday and Saturday, we're going to be trying to tackle this outer perimeter rotted rim joist. Because we got our new rim joist ran, but it only stops there. So we still need to put it in pretty much this whole freaking side. I have yet to see what this side looks like, but we'll get to that when we get to that. You know what I mean? I'll worry about that when we, get there. Gotta finish ripping out all the factory flooring so we can get access and get a visual look at all these floor joists. Hopefully they're all in good shape. So if you look right here, I don't know if that's going to show very well on the camera because my lighting's not that great right now. But if you look right here, it's rotted pretty bad. But the next one in is good. And I'm suspecting that all of those center ones should be fine as well. And hopefully all this rot and damage is excluded just to the outer perimeter stuff. And so far that is what it's looking like. Now there are some questionable spots. When you start getting into this part of the kitchen and bathroom and stuff, might have to do some sistering to some of the joists in that area because they may or may not be damaged. I'm not sure yet. So we got a window for this. Like I said, still looking for a replacement window to go in the kitchen above where the sink's going to go because that's still a factory single pane and it doesn't even operate or function at all. So it's kind of not really doing anything. So I did the math on this thing, right? Measured it out, and you can double check me, do the math with me. So I took, we got 55 foot long in length for this trailer and then 12 foot wide. And I added all that up, right, roughly. Got about 660 square feet, which is not really that small in reality. And then I took the dimensions of a sheet of plywood, 8 foot by 4 foot, right? And that got me like, was it 30 or 32 square foot, something like that. And I did the math to see how many sheets roughly of plywood, 4x8 plywood sheets, would I need to do the entire trailer. And the math came out to like somewhere around 20 or 22 sheets, which is not a lot at all to do the entire house. Like, that's insane. Plus, I already have probably 5 or 6 full sheets of 4x8, so I can even eliminate some of those off of that list. I got a stack underneath all this stuff. I got 2 pieces there, and then when I get into that back bedroom, I got some more. Hopefully, some more full sheets. So that saves us money of how many we need to buy. So we're only really need to start buying more once we run out of the stuff that's already in here. And this should be 5/8. I measured it out with a tape measure, but I keep getting some weird measurements, right? So I'll show you, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about real quick, right? So I take the tape measure. We lock on, right? If my camera will focus. Okay. I mean, that looks like 5/8. Like dead center, right? Am I doing that wrong? You know what I mean? Like, this is what was throwing me off. Okay. God dang it. Hang on. It's definitely bigger than 1/2 inch. It looks like 5/8. Like dead center. And then if I start it at the 2 mark, sorry guys. Okay, then if I start it here at the 2 mark, right? It's bigger than 1/2 inch. Would you consider that 5/8? I guess, I don't know. That's what kept throwing me off. As long as, I mean, if it's bigger than 1/2 inch, I would assume. Because, I mean, what else could it be, right? Because if you got... freaking camera is trash, dude. Wow. Junk. Anyway, yeah, if you got 1/2 inch and you're over 1/2 inch, I mean, it's not gonna be like 1/2 inch and a half. I mean, what the hell? You know what I mean? I guess it's considered 5/8. I don't know. Anyway, enough of that. So, if it is 5/8 though, that should be good. That should be totally thick enough for a subfloor. Especially with the spacing of how close these side to side 1x3s, 1x4s, whatever those are. They're very close together. They're probably 14 inches. Probably just like the ceiling trusses, if I'm not mistaken. That's more than enough support and surface area to support this plywood. So we should be totally fine. And then there's some more 2x2. But I think, yeah, we're going to run them. And these should hold steady after they are screwed in and secured. I'm excited. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this one. Don't want this video to drag too long. Just a little quick thing as far as tackling this thing. Alright, I'm going to jump off.